Hello, everyone. My name is Anne, and I'm 17 years old. So some of you may have heard of me as the inventor of the hollow flashlight, which, as he said, is a flashlight that runs off the heat of the human hand. Well, otherwise, I'm a pretty normal high school student. I'm in grade 12, and I've actually lived in Victoria for all my life, so it's very exciting to be here today. So here's a snapshot of me when I was around 7 years old with one of my first inventions, which were usually pieces of garbage I had just rummaged from around the house and glued together with my hot glue gun, and then proceeded to give lengthy lectures about them to my parents and anyone else who's pretending to listen. Today, however, I have a shorter amount of time and a scary clock that is counting down in front of me, so I will try to keep it short and talk about one aspect of inventions, which I would call the problem with inventions. It's funny being called an inventor because we all have those moments, those aha moments, where we come up with a new idea, and we're like, why hasn't anyone made that? That is such a good idea. I should make it and make $1 million off of it. So, hands up here. Who's had that idea? Who's had that amazing idea? All your hands should be going up, I hope. Okay? So, now, who here, hands up or hands down, has actually followed up on their idea and made it into an actual invention or app or company, whatever you were thinking of? You got a patent for it, you got funding, you got it manufactured, and now you're successfully selling it all over the world on the internet or in stores. Well, I see, of course, you have a very respectable and accomplished audience, but there's significantly less hands. The fact is that without a dire need for this invention, the majority of us just can't be bothered, and we're going to let someone else do it. The problem with most inventions is that they look so simple, but simple does not equal easy, and this is one of my earliest versions of my flashlight, and you can see it looks like anyone could have just slapped it together with a plastic pipe, Peltier tiles, and an LED. However, I think of my flashlight as an idea born years ago. I started playing with electronic parts when I was around 5 years old, and then I was soldering by 7. Of course, I'm not an expert in anything, and I was playing with Peltier tiles, piezoelectric discs, and solar cells by 10. So when a friend of mine in the Philippines who I was talking with told me that she didn't have any electricity at home, so she couldn't see her notes to study with at night, I thought, oh, maybe I have some sort of solution for her. One with piezoelectricity, which harnessed the kinetic energy of humans, and one with thermal electricity. My idea, however, was just the start. I now needed to learn manual skills, using the lathe and using machines in the machine shop and winding tiny transformers, working with very small electronic parts under a microscope. None of these were very simple to learn, but using people skills, we all have people skills, I hope, I was able to reach out to people and get them to teach me. After about 3 months or so of bench work and learning basic electronics, I did produce a working flashlight, which I actually first presented at our local science fair, which is the Vancouver Island Regional Science Fair, and at other numerous science fairs after that. So, after the science fairs, what next? Everyone was saying, oh, you just get a patent, you can protect your design, just go buy a patent, it'll be fine. So, yeah, that thought did strike me, but then I looked up the facts. Last year, there are over 500,000 utility patents filed in the US alone. About half those actually became patents, and 97% of those didn't even make any money for anyone, except for the patent lawyers who had written the patents. So for anyone who's actually been in the patenting process, it can be quite daunting at first, and it especially was for me. I was 16, I had no knowledge whatsoever of any type of entrepreneurship, so of course I referred to my parents who also knew nothing, so it can be quite scary at first. Then came the next chapter of my simple invention, which was manufacturers coming to me, this little kid that looked like Harry Potter, and asking for samples of my flashlight, and they were sending agreements for me to let them manufacture it, and non-disclosure, secret things, blah, blah, blah. And many times, I just wanted to take my project and give it to someone else and walk away and get on with my schoolwork and my teenager life, which was suffering accordingly. So the flashlight, of course, got a lot of publicity, and I did a lot of appearances and talks. But most importantly was all the emails and feedback I got, especially on my YouTube video, from youth my age who were inspired to create a difference and do something because of what I had done, which was amazing. So, looking back, I feel like a parent, and the flashlight is my baby. Well, today, the baby is still a toddler. There are technological issues on it that we have to work on before it'll be competitive brightness-wise with other flashlights on the market. But fortunately, I did find a partner, one in Canada, a distribution company, that will hopefully get my flashlights into the market in the near future. And then I can be a proud parent and look at my baby on the shelves. It's very nice. Yes. So, I have new ideas, of course, as I'm sure we all do, but I am in grade 12, so I am limited on time. And so before I fully launch myself into any idea, I think of a few questions first. 1, is the problem worth finding a solution to? 2, do I have the time to focus on this particular solution? 3, is it practical? Can it be made so that the benefits offset the production costs, for example? 4, is the solution good for many people, or will it just be for the convenience of a few benefited people? I can't speak, sorry. 5, can I afford the patent, which is quite an important question to ask. You might have sensed some trepidation in my short speech, but nothing could be further from the truth. If you have an idea that you want to launch, go ahead. That's great. Just make sure you keep focused on a solution for a very clear, precise need. The birth is the easy part, but as many parents, especially mine, will agree, the bringing up the baby is quite expensive and time-consuming. Every idea, every invention is an opportunity to embark on a journey. It's not a free ride, nor is it the most pleasant journey at times, and it's often slow, as we have to learn and grasp new concepts and skills. But it's a trip like no other. Even if your invention never makes the shelves, if you've influenced the thinking of others in the right direction, then it was worth your effort. It's a force that drives me today and lets me look at the problem of inventions not as obstacles, but as welcome challenges that I can overcome and learn from. It's exciting to create something that's good and something that could solve problems and benefit other people's lives. You have the power to steer your ship into a great future. And that means something. That makes for a better life. And it's the type of future I would love to live in. Thank you.